So we start by selecting the services we're looking to order. So I can say drug test. Then I can enter the city, state, zip, or the FormFox site ID of the site I'm looking to uh, order a test to. So I'm just going to look up a zip code, and now I have some collection sites appearing. Now I can change the range of this search from 10 to 100 miles. So if I'm not seeing a result within 10 miles, I might, you know, increase that distance and try to get a wider radius. So with this selected, I can choose, let's choose this collection site. And then I can go through the ordering process. I can either order an individual test or a group test. So to define that further, I can either order multiple tests at once or a single test one at a time. I'll do the individual. Next, I can select the company that I'm going to order to. This is based on the login. So if you have a login for a single company, you'll only be able to see that company and the locations underneath it. Now, if you're set at a location, you'll only be able to see information for that location account. So with this login, it's only set at one company. So I can only access this company. Next, I'll set a reason. I'll just do post-accident. And then I can enter, select drug test and enter the lab account that I'm going to be using. Now, I don't think I have a valid lab account on this account. Just have a few. Let's say that. Defaults to non-regulated because that's what's allowed on this lab account. And then I can go through and select the services performed or the test. This would be the panel that is getting tested on. And then I can add this. It comes over to the right-hand side, showing that it is a service that's being ordered. And typically, this information is going to be set to describe what's available to order on the account. So for instance, with another company account I have, the lab account is set for non-DOT. I have a DOT and then a quick test. And so just by that account description, I'm able to determine what tests I'm looking to order. So once we have services on the right-hand side, I can select confirm. You see the requested services are finalized successfully, and then I can select next. At this point, I'm going to be searching for the donor. So I'm just going to enter the social. Let me actually pull someone up. If I don't know the social, what I can do is enter a social that I think it should be, or if I'm looking to add a new donor, I can add a new donor from this. So I hit search, donor was not found, new donor will be created. I can then go ahead and enter the first name, the last name, and then any other information for that donor. Demo, I'll give it a birthday. That's today. The collection site, it is already selected with the collection site I got previously with the site search, so I don't need to do that. If I do want to change the location, I can, and it'll just be a similar site search. I can either search a different zip code or keep this zip code and select a different available site. Once I finalize the site, I can then enter scheduling information. So I can select the time zone. Let's do Mountain because I'm in Utah. The order expiration date or when the test will expire. the time as well, and then the preferred schedule date and time. I can also enter any scheduling comments. Once I have that completed, I can hit submit. And then I can do one of three things, or all three, for the authorization form. I can either print it off and, you know, hand deliver it to the donor or the employee. I can enter the email address for that employee and I can email the authorization form to them, or I can enter a text message and I can text the authorization form to them. So, and if you have a group, you can add multiple numbers and multiple emails. Okay, I'll hit finish. And there we go. We go back to step one of the ordering process. So that walkthrough covers both the site search as well as the ordering tab. With the ordering, it's kind of the second step of the site search where you select the individual, the company, and then the tests. And then you would then select a collection site by searching. Site search, you search for the collection site first. Order, you set up the services first. Now, once a test is ordered, now I have a clear understanding. We can go to tracking. And we can actually see updates for that test. Now, we're only going to see updates for tests that have been ordered through the portal. So if we don't order a test through the portal, we won't be able to see the updates on the test and where it is. It'll just show something similar to this, where it's all gray. And this means that the notification has been sent out, it's been collected, it's at the laboratory. Now it hasn't left the laboratory. If it had and it was done, then we would see it in the next section, collected or completed. In this section, we're seeing tests that are completed, and we have three different views to choose from. The first is new results, which is showing us new tests, new completed events that have not yet been viewed by the user. And I can open this test up, click on that, and go through. I can open each section and see more information. The testing has been completed, and it's also been reviewed, and we have that information here. What I can also do is, if I choose a different view, like current month, it'll show me all tests that were ordered this current month and that have been completed. And the last option is complete. This will show me a complete list of tests that have been completed. I have 16, and it's ranging up to a year for this, or almost a year, back in 2018. Now, with these different tabs, there's a few things that we can do in each of them. We can search for specific tests. We have a few different data sets we can search by. We can set up a filter, which will show us, only alcohol breath tests. We can look for only lab-based nail tests, certain types of tests. We can also filter by reason, the date type, which is the date it was ordered, scheduled, the date it was tested or reviewed. We can set a date range for that. Or we can, /and, we can filter it to show regulated or non-regulated tests. We can also customize. And this is customizing what columns are seen and the order in which they're displayed. So here we see that we have checkboxes next to these. That means they're displaying. The ones without a checkbox, we are not seeing on this list. And finally, we can export this list to a CSV file, which we can then open in um, Excel. With the tracking, one thing we can do is if we open the test, we can hit this pencil icon here to edit. We can edit donor information. So maybe we have the wrong ID, we can change that. We can also change any scheduling information. And this is something that we set ourselves in that ordering process. So if we need to change the schedule date and time, we can. Or if we need to excuse this, cancel it, we can as well. Okay. So the tracking is completed. Just to give a brief review, tracking will show us events and tests that have been ordered through the portal with status updates. They are going to be tests that aren't yet completed, so they either need to be tested at a laboratory or they need to be reviewed by an MRO. Once they've met those criteria, we will find them in the completed tab, which will be full of, reviewed tests, tests that have been completed at the lab and don't need to be reviewed by an MRO, tests like that. And we can see the result, the status of that, and then we can open the test to see more information. What we can also do in the completed tab is print off MRO copies. And we do that by selecting the test here and then selecting the print button. And that'll bring up that MRO copy, and then we can save it or print it off, whatever we need to do with that. Moving on, the random testing tab. Right now, this company that I have a login is not associated with any pools. However, if it was associated with any pools, I would be able to see them here. Let me actually log in as a different user so we can see that information. Give me just one quick second, because that's very important to go over. Okay. So I'm going to go to the random testing, and here we see those pools that this company is associated with. I can then open the pool. I can see the statistics, and if I click on this this date for the selection period, I can also see who from my company was selected. I can also see the details of the pool, so I can see when it was last ran, the program interval, and then the percentages as well. Most importantly, with this information, we can edit the pool members. We can add people to the pool. We can inactivate the pool here. And we can do personnel membership updates via imports. We would just import a CSV file into the pool to update membership. Now, under random testing, we have two options. We've looked at pools. Now we're going to look at personnel. This area is letting us view personnel under the account that this login is associated with. So it's associated with this Roy High School company. And so we're only seeing Roy High School individuals. From here, we can edit personnel information. So maybe I need to add a missed digit for their alternate ID. I can do that. If I need to change, a different birthday, add contact information, I can do that as well. I can also see demographic information for that donor and if they have any tests that are pending. I can also add individuals. So if I want to say I have a new hire, I can select add individual and enter that new hire's information. And then they are automatically associated with this company. And I can also activate and inactivate members from this page as well. Other options we can choose from, similar to the tracking and completed, is the customize. We can customize the columns that are displayed, and we can move them. So maybe we want regulatory mode to be displayed first. We can then have it displayed first. We can also set filters depending on location, region, regulatory mode, and employee category of those donors. And we can also import donor lists. If we're looking to import donor lists from the portal, what I would suggest is downloading the template. It will show you what columns you need to have in order to import into the portal. And typically we see that if you don't download the template, you'll run into issues where there's exceptions with the file and it has difficulty downloading. After random testing is the reports tab, and we have a total of 4 different reports. 2 reports that discuss or that are over driver certification. One is a renewal report, which will show you certifications that are up for renewal. And the other is a driver certification status report, which will show you the status of those driver certifications. I currently don't have any data that we could pull from to fill those reports, so I'm not really going to show you. The other report is a management summary report, which is going to show us the different tests that have been ran for this company. And we also have the ability to run an MIS report from the portal. So we open that. So school, the regulatory mode. We do FAA. And I don't have any data in my implementation for this either. But I can choose either calendar year or date range. And then I can submit that and it'll build that report and I can then save it or print it. Okay, so in order to get a login to the portal, you'll need to contact a DATCS representative if you don't have one already. Otherwise, you'll just be using the same login you have currently for the portal now. And then if you have any other questions, feel free to type it in the chat. Don't want everyone to be talking over each other. So if we can utilize the chat for that, that'd be great. The URL is going to be slightly different. We can, I think DATCS should have that URL. And we can, once it's time that this is live, we will distribute that accordingly. So again, if you need a login, feel free to contact DATCS. They'll walk you through the process of getting that. And then this is not taking place in the Alir site. This is separate. Okay, do we have any other questions? So through the portal, we can't scan documents into tests. The reason is this is more client-facing. That would be something that would be done on the DATCS end. And then if we have two companies, you'd probably not want to have the same login for both. They could be very similar, but they need to be different. Okay, so the next question, will all individuals have to be entered into the system before they are sent for testing? We can enter new donors during the ordering step. Let me just walk you through that real fast. Actually, let's do the non-DOT. So when you're searching for a donor, their information, if you enter information that isn't found in the system, you will then be prompted to create that information. So let me just enter a random alternate ID. I'm going to hit search. Donor was not found. A new donor will be created. So I'll need to enter their name and their information for that. And then if you have the same drivers for both companies, honestly, in a situation like that, I would get with DATCS and discuss how that's set up. It's not really, just because I don't have all the information, probably not my place to give an opinion. Okay, background checks. With background checks, we work with ClearStar. They're our vendor for that. And what we would do is, depending on how you have your account set up with ClearStar, that'll determine what services you can order. So for example, and I can't walk through that now because I don't have an account with ClearStar set up, and so I can't go through the process.
Hey, Tyler,
yeah.
the background still remains the same.
What are we seeing now? Oh, the background. Okay, I thought you were talking about the screen. Yeah. So in that case, like they said, the background process, that's going to remain the same. And then this last question, DATCS, can you give any input into Hector's question? So Donna, when you create a new donor, they're not necessarily automatically added to the pool. It depends on the pool criteria. So if the pool criteria is that of regulatory modes, they won't be added to that because when you're creating a new donor through the ordering process, you aren't setting that. However, if you go to random testing and then personnel and then add individual, you can then set that information up, or you could add them directly into the pool from the pools area. So I go here, I open this, and then I select pool members. I can then create that donor and add them directly into the pool. Okay, Sherry, that's not my place. I would ask that more towards DATCS. And Donna, info for the social for the new donor. You will need the name and the social. I believe it will request a birthday. If you don't know what that is, I've advised clients to just select the current date as the birthday. Stacy, I believe so. Yeah, you would access this to view um, your results for random testing and any other testing like that. Okay, do we have any other questions? Okay, Regina, I don't believe it'll send out an email notifying you. However, we can have that option created. It is available for the login, so you'll just have to get with DATCS to get that set up, uh, to email you when there are new results. Okay. Any other questions, or are we comfortable with, you know, that walkthrough and, you know, the process we would go through to view completed tests, for tests, that.
Hi, Mama. Hi.
Christina, it currently does not.
Ready?
Okay, so Stacy, to see the drivers, we will need to wait until this goes live. Then you'll be able to see all employees under the name and results for them. Okay. Well, it seems like we've gotten through a lot of questions. If you do have any further questions, feel free to contact DATCS and we can get that settled. For now, I'd like to thank you all for attending the meeting. It has been recorded and we will be holding another session so we can include more individuals into this. If you'd like to attend that, that's fine. Just contact DATCS and let them know. But for now, I'm going to say thank you for joining, and we will talk to you soon. All right. Bye, you guys.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thanks.
I'm
Uh-huh.
excited people got in.
Yep. A lot.